Kohlman. I'm 27 years old. I am married. I have a beautiful daughter and a wonderful husband. And I'm originally from Wisconsin, but I now live in Ohio. I was born with a rare birth defect called bladder exstrophy. And I think that it's made me a lot of who I am today, and definitely has changed my life for the better. And I really enjoy spending time with my family and the Green Bay Packers. I was born at Kaukauna Community Hospital in Kaukauna, Wisconsin. My parents did not know that I was going to be born with a birth defect, bladder exstrophy. So after I was born, I was taken by ambulance, because it should have been a helicopter, but there was a huge snowstorm on the day that I was born. And taken by ambulance to Milwaukee Children's to have my bladder put back on the inside, because that was the best hospital at that time, for the closest for what I was born with. After that, I had a series of surgeries. My first couple days of birth, I was at Milwaukee Children's for about 8 weeks after I was born, which is 2 hours away from my parents' house. So for my parents, it was very hard going back and forth and taking time with my 2 older sisters, making sure everybody had enough time. And after I was born, I didn't have another surgery until I was about 4 at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, Maryland. Dr. Robert Jeffs, with the assisting of Dr. Stephen DeSimo, did my bladder neck reconstruction there at the age of 4, and my osteotomy, which actually was very successful in making me continent, and is a lot of the reason why I have had such a great life.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I'm 26 years old, and I was born with bladder exstrophy. Born and raised in Massillon, Ohio, and I had my initial bladder closure in Johns Hopkins.
So also when I was at Johns Hopkins, I was getting my B&R done in bladder neck reconstruction and my osteotomy. My doctor, Dr. Robert Jeffs and Dr. Stephen DeSimo, they introduced me to another little boy who had bladder exstrophy. We were both there with our moms, both 4 years old. He was from Ohio, I was from Wisconsin, and they thought it would be a good idea for us to meet for moral support and just companionship and have someone to be there for each other. And so I was introduced to him. We hit it off right away. We were great friends. We spent 8 weeks together at the Ronald McDonald House, recovering from the same exact surgery. Cameron had his bladder neck reconstruction and osteotomy done at the same time, so we became quick friends, and we were confined to wagons the whole time for the majority of the time that we were there recovering from the surgery. So we, with our moms, would go around the Inner Harbor in Baltimore in our wagons, and they would just pull us around everywhere, and we were great friends, and we stayed in contact for a very long time. This is Cameron. This is the boy I met when we were at Johns Hopkins getting our surgeries done back in '95 when we were 4 years old. We became friends, and we stayed friends for a very long time. In 2006, we started talking more and emailed back and forth on the phone all the time, drove our parents crazy, buying plane tickets back and forth and talking on the phone late at night and getting ourselves into trouble. But long story short, we did start dating in 2006, and in 2015 we got married.
My wife and I met when we were 4 years old at Johns Hopkins. We were both born with bladder exstrophy, my goodness. And we both had the same procedure done that time, and we were confined to wagons for a little while, so we spent a lot of time together. Our moms kind of became best friends, almost leaned on each other for support, and along the way, like I said, we were really close. We spent a lot of time together, became really good friends. Years later down the road, we decided to get back in touch with each other via email, and just kind of talk to each other, see how everything was going. And email went to phone went to actually she surprising me for the first time meeting. We were both 15, and then again became even closer at that point, closer friends, and eventually fell in love. And gonna keep your hands off me. And we eventually ended up marrying in 2015. Was our wedding in Wisconsin, home of the Green Bay Packers. And then in 2017, we were blessed with a little baby girl on May 23rd, and she's going to be one here pretty soon. And perfectly healthy baby, a little sassy, just like her mama. And fortunately, she's a big daddy's girl, which I love. She's got me wrapped around her little finger, and she's the most beautiful, healthiest baby, and we're very blessed. So after we got married, my wife and I started talking about having a baby, having a family, because we both have really big, close families, and it's obviously been something that we really wanted for a long time. So with both of us having bladder exstrophy, we weren't sure what our options were, if we could have children, how hard it would be, would the baby have bladder exstrophy. So naturally we talked to a lot of doctors and did some research, and they pretty much said the same thing, like, it's a 50-50 shot, no one really knows what your chances are. So we decided to go ahead and give it a shot. We figured who better to have who better have a child with bladder exstrophy than two people that already have it and kind of went through the same life experiences and everything like that. Started trying to have a child. Got pregnant actually very quickly, which was surprising. Again, we weren't sure whether or not how hard it would be. And like I said, on May 23rd, 2017, we were blessed with a very beautiful girl. Her name's Everly Grace Kohlman. Perfectly healthy, little ball of sass. She's gonna be turning a year here pretty soon, so we're really excited for that. So Everly Grace Kohlman is a little spitfire right now. She's a lot of energy running around. She's just starting to walk around and exploring new things. It's amazing to see her learn new things every day. It's amazing. So finally starting to say words. Right now she's a big daddy's girl, which I love. We get along great, and she's my little everything.
Cameron knows. When I was pregnant, yes. I just found out I was pregnant with Everly, and naturally we were scared anyways, because we went to the doctor and they couldn't find the baby. They thought maybe it was like she wasn't gonna, you know, grow and develop how she should have. And so we had just gotten back from the emergency room, I don't know, a couple days before that because of that. And I was walking downstairs with a basket of laundry, and I slipped and I fell and just like skidded down all the stairs. I've never heard Cameron run and scream so loud in my whole life. Because I started crying, not because I was like hurt, but I was just scared to death that something was wrong. But it was fine. Growing up, I think the best thing my parents taught me is to treat everyone how I would like to be treated. I didn't want to be treated like I had something different about me or wrong with me, essentially, because there were little road bumps, but nothing was wrong with my life. My life was great, and I think that talking to Cameron, and this is why we bonded so well, is that our parents raised us to be who we are and not let bladder exstrophy define who we are. I think it's so important that kids are raised to think that, you know, you're so much more than a label that's on your medical chart, or, you know, what you're born with. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I think raise your child with no limitations. I mean, let them be a kid, let them run, play sports. I mean, and also have open dialogue with them. I mean, open communication is huge. I think both our parents are very open, and what we wanted, when we felt like we needed something, let them be part of the process almost, or let them tell you how they're feeling and what they think they should be doing.
Yeah, especially growing up, I think there were a lot of uncomfortable scenarios having the birth defect that we have, and to have our parents be so willing to help us in any scenario, and if they couldn't help us, get us to somebody who could, that was really great for us to grow and be who we are today.